Hey y'all, welcome to the Jezebel Way Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a Twin Flame Collective. We've got a new moon in Scorpio, I think, coming up on the 4th, which should prove to be really interesting. A lot of things being cleared up, ties being eliminated, truth, of course, passion. So let's see what we got going on for the Twin Flame Collective for November. A lot of masculine energy being in the ego, I think. Okay, one wants to come out. The chase. Okay. Relentless pursuit. So some of you may be feeling like, you know, this is going on and on and on. And when is this merry-go-round ever going to end? Somebody's chasing. Somebody thinks that by chasing, they're going to end up with some sort of a victory. But unfortunately, I think that what they're going to end up with is awakening, right? We have someone understanding that chasing is not going to get them the end result that they desire. And I think that's going to be like running into a brick wall for some people. They're going to hit a brick wall finally with that idea of chasing instead of doing the inner work and attracting. But what it's going to bring is a lot of clarity. So as usual in this journey, when you hit a brick wall with something, it always works out in your favor, because you're always able to then gain some clarity. So somebody's going to be gaining some clarity. So let's see what we got going. Cards are all crazy and willy-nilly, sorry. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, Queen of Wands. Feminine is saying, you know what? I'm good on my own. Do I hold on to this connection? Do I have hope for the future that this will move forward? Absolutely. But you know what? You've been occupying a little too much space in my mind. And so the feminine energy is turning her back on the idea of the illusion of this situation. The illusion of the energy ending in a 3D relationship. The chaser is hoping that they will find. And she's saying, you know what? I'm whole and I'm good. I'm whole and I'm good without the other party. That's kind of what I'm getting here. So somebody, yes, are they awakening? You both are. You're both elevating. Someone is saying, though, I'm not going to participate in these cycles any longer. Do I participate in them spiritually? Yes. But am I going to participate in them thinking that this is a romance or this is going to end any other way than how it has before? No. I'm going to choose to pay attention to the pattern, and I'm going to choose to move on my merry way because I'm whole within myself. I'm going to put it out of my mind as far as obsession goes. I'm holding on to this, yes, but I'm holding on to the fact that we can come into alignment in the right way. Okay, so let's see what's going on with the masculine and the feminine. Feminine sitting in her power. She's no longer being a prisoner to her thoughts in this situation. She's no longer being a prisoner to the lack in this situation. She's not going to dwell on the lack any longer. She's not going to dwell on the loss. And she's not going to look at it as though it is a loss. She knows this is divinely guided. And she knows that she has to go on a new path in order to get a hold of, maybe for some of you it's an obsession pattern. But to put things in perspective in the right way in her mind. She's the Empress. Whether the masculine is present or the masculine is not present, she's still the divine feminine. And that's what she's choosing to focus on. Masculine is Masculine is having a lot of issues regarding choice, ego. The masculine is choosing to blindly be in his ego. So at this point, I feel like the masculine is closing his eyes to the role of the feminine. He's closing his eyes just right now to the connection. I feel like he wants to make an offer to the feminine, yes, but the heartbreak, the anxiety, poor choices, not having purposeful direction. Also, there may be an element of surprise involved here. There may, for some of you, end up being some sort of surprise visit, a surprise offer, a surprise phone call, with an offer. But understand that it could be for some of you that this offer hasn't been very well thought out, okay? Yeah, communication incoming. Like I said, somebody's making a judgment call on this situation. The masculine is making a judgment call on this situation to move forward. The feminine's making a judgment call to move forward on her own. So the masculine is going to be contacting the feminine, wanting to have this conversation. But again, the feminine's going to be of the mindset that the masculine isn't thinking this through, right? It's just kind of blind faith, just kind of like throwing it out there. Feminine is no longer trapped in her mind regarding this offer. I think the feminine is in a mindset in which she's giving it up to the universe, saying, hey, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. But I can't be stressed about this anymore. I've got to move on. I've got to focus. I've got to concentrate on my own path. I've let the masculine kick me off my track too much. And what I'm focusing on is the offer, is the end goal with the masculine being a physical 3D union. I'm not focusing on my own spirituality, my own ascension, my own work. And so the feminine is putting the heartbreak, she's changing her perspective on the situation. And she's no longer going to be continually in this cycle of anxiety and obsession, anxiety and obsession. Now, I don't think either one of the feminine or the masculine are quite healed, okay, from whatever's gone on or their own situations. We do have the Star card in reverse. So in some respects, this tells me, number one, the feminine is not going to accept the offer. And number two, the masculine's not quite healed because he's still living in his ego. So let's kind of see what that is telling us. Yeah. Feminines, resist the urge when your masculine approaches you to get that ass, okay? Resist it. Masculines, for some of you feminines, the masculine returning is going to be a repeat cycle of something in the past. It is not disingenuine. It's just that it sounds like a really great idea at the time. But when they have thought process about it, the secret is this is going to end up being kind of another tower moment for the masculine and the feminine. I don't think the masculine is going to be following through because the idea is, it sounded like a good idea at the time, remember? Well, it doesn't sound like the masculine's thought this out very well, right? But they come to the conclusion that, yeah, he hasn't. And he backtracks on the offer. So, I think this is going to kind of be a repeat cycle of some things in the past, some ghosting, some really big promises, and some ghosting. And I think that you're not going to hear from the masculine for a while. Feminine is trying to resist the urge to be ultra needy and controlling. Ultra needy as in, you owe me an explanation, right? Or giving attention to the negative parts of the situation. Like, why do you do this? You promised me this, you promised me that. The best thing you can do in this situation is understand this is not going to result in a union, and just go away. Don't go away mad, just go away. Because this is a repeat pattern. And I feel like the reason why I'm being told to say, look, don't even give it any attention. Don't give it any attention is because I think the cycle and the pattern is continuing to feed the masculine's ego, hoping for this to turn out another way than it has the last 14 times, right? And getting the same result. So I think the reason why you're not to pay attention to this when they go flaky or whatever is because you are kind of drawing a boundary that you're not going to give to the drama anymore. There's something about this the masculine hasn't thought through. They are not in their right state. They are in the ego. And so what's the worst thing you can do is feed an ego, right? So this is saying, just go away silent. You're not even going away. You're just not responding. When this doesn't pan out, don't even respond to it. Go about the merry way you were going. Go on this new path of oneness and alignment. And understand that, the biggest message you can send to them is the sound of silence. For example, I kind of knew you were going to flake out and do this again, and I'm not going to entertain you anymore. I'm not going to entertain this anymore, right? So I think the biggest takeaway from this is about controlling your reaction to them when they're acting out of their ego again, and there's absolutely no follow through. Let me see what this Three of Swords is. Well, let's see why. Why the hell are they going to do this to begin with? Okay, they feel like, I think here, they're alleviating some sort of conflict within themselves. So, for example, you have the people who, the only reason that they really are apologizing to you, or the only reason they're really doing the right thing, as far as you're concerned, is not because they feel like they're doing the right thing by you, because they hurt you, or they did something to you. They do it to alleviate their own guilt. And they do it to alleviate their own conflict, inner conflict. And so this is kind of why, it seems like the masculine is having his eyes closed. He's not really seeing this for what it is. The offer and the words not meeting the actions are about alleviating an inner conflict. So, for example, I talked about emotional cutting, right? So when either party, who is the one who usually does the chasing, hits the brick wall they're about to run into, because you're the brick wall. The feminines out there, you're going to be the brick wall. They're going to run into that brick wall. Boom. And then the progress and the work begin, because you're no longer feeding the ego of the situation. So basically, they're emotional cutting. They can't stand the obsession any longer, so they have to reach out. And what it is, it's just emotional cutting. They're just doing it to alleviate the conflict about the connection that they have within themselves. I was really hoping for November this would be like, real good stuff, but this is about setting boundaries, and it's about not reacting to the masculine when they're in their ego anymore. So they're trying to alleviate an inner conflict. Are you going to hear from him? Yeah. Are you going to be excited? Absolutely. But they're not going to have the follow through, and it's only to alleviate the inner conflict on a temporary basis. Don't respond to it anymore. Let them cut the shit out of themselves. Don't respond to it anymore. Stand still, breathe a brick wall. It's not saying don't talk to them, but when you see the follow through not happening, don't even respond to it. Because what you're sending the message to them is, well, I've kind of figured you'd do this anyway. I really wasn't expecting that much from you anyway. And this is not to be hateful or mean or malicious or whatever. This is just to say, I'm not responding to this pattern anymore. If you want the pattern to break, you have to stop feeding the pattern. End of story. So let's see what this anxiety and stuff is here. And funny, cutting is, emotional cutting is what I've been saying. And if you can see on this card, you've got swords and there's blood dripping off the swords. Well, that's their blood dripping off the swords. They know that they're breaking your heart every time they do this pattern. But they're unable to get past the temporary relief that it gives them. Let's see what it is. Also, in a way, the masculine in this collective is a little bit emotionally lazy. They enjoy creating the idea and the persona and the environment because they want to be chased. They end up being the chaser, right? But they want to be chased. And so they want you. They don't want to put in the work, so they do the emotional cutting because their behavior has given them that avenue that, they've not put in the work. So where is it going to go? The pattern always ends this way. So they have to keep doing it. They want you to offer them something. They want you to chase them like they chase you. They want you to be the aggressor. Well, feminines, you know that we don't chase, we attract. We don't do the work for the masculine. We support them. We give them love. Yes, we're a sort of a steady as she goes type of situation. But we at no point chase the masculine. At no point. Because what is that doing? It's feeding the ego. So they want you to feed their ego. They want to do the emotional cutting for a temporary relief in order to feed their ego. Starve their ego. Don't respond when you know it goes the same way it goes every time. Be like, okay, I'm going to go get a paper and a coffee and see you later. So just understand that the masculine may reach out, but they're reaching out to you in their ego. So let's see what we can expect to happen here. Okay, lots of stuff fell out. Of course, you're going to put your crown right back on your head and be like, psst. And they're going to come back with their little old apology. They're going to come back with their little shitty, crummy offer, okay, over here like a child. And then they're going to play victim and mourn the loss, okay? And then they're going to clam up again and separate. So, motherfucker. Karmic incoming, if there's not a karmic already here. All I can say is they're about to get trapped in their own game. So hide and watch, okay? Sit back, get a bag of popcorn. Not that you're, I'm kind of jaded at this point, okay? I've been kind of like on a 10-year journey. But you're going to grab your popcorn and you're going to let karma do its job. This is their lesson. They've got to run into that brick wall and fall on their ass before they figure out how to get out of their ego. So they are going to receive their karma. Karma's good. Karma's not always bad, right? Karma elevates us. Karma helps us learn what we need to learn, okay? There's going to be a running back to the karmic. They're going to get caught in their own game. And they're going to be flat on their ass. So, yeah. Karmic's going to go away. You're going to go away. then they're going to have to defend themselves against this ego. They're going to get trapped in their own game. See, this black dog wolf here is the ego running through their defenses, right? So they're going to hit that brick wall and have to deal with their ego. All right, this was kind of a funny one, but I kind of thought maybe this was going to be the case from some of the things and reads I've done and what I've been seeing, right? What I've been seeing. So let's get some advice for the collective. So masculines out there, I'm sorry I'm making you out to be the bad guy. If this doesn't apply to you, then this isn't your collective. Okay. Lots of different ones out there. Yeah, the advice is to get in alignment with what you want. Don't concentrate on the heartache and loss. Reclaim your power, feminines. Use your intuition. You already know what they're going to do because you've seen this pattern play out time and time and time again. So really, I think this is kind of like a collective for the divine feminines. So stand your ground. You know that no matter what you do to this connection, it's always going to be there, right? The trick is going on your journey and learning your lessons. It's not concentration on the other party. Stand your ground. Don't feed the ego. Cut this loose and don't continue this pattern. There's going to be some changes. There's going to be some choices you're going to have to make. But in the end, the abundance is going to be for you. Prosperity, feminines, is going to be for you. And you're going to be able to close this cycle out. And so, you know, if the masculine comes back with another game, so be it. But they damn sure aren't going to play this one on you again. So, feminines, I think this was your divine collective instead of it being a collective for divine twins. I'm going to call it so much as that. And just note that if you feel like you can't move, sometimes my intuition starts kicking off when somebody's trying to say something to me or they're asking me a question and all of my shit starts going off all at once, right? And so I'm picking up on their energy. I'm trying to interpret their energy. I'm trying to transmute their energy and my brain's going saying, you know, they are full of it. And, you know, all at the same time. And so sometimes this is how my spirit protects me because I'm unable to answer their question. I'm unable to answer them. I mean, physically unable to answer them. I just kind of am looking at them. So if you have something like that happens within your body, that's your body telling you, you know what, you don't need to respond to this because it's bullshit. It's bad energy. It's a lie. It's whatever. Your intuition is trying to protect you. So pay attention to those things when you encounter your masculine, when this happens, and kind of see what your body does, right? Also, if you're feeling suddenly repulsed by your twin, which I know is crazy, it's sort of contradictory, but just understand that means that low vibration is starting to set in. I am patient, feminines, knowing that whatever is of the highest good is coming to me. Amen. So what am I always over here preaching about over here? Like a Southern Baptist preacher, I'm always preaching about the highest good for the twin flames. Because even though you may not be in union right now, that may not be what is the highest good of the situation. The highest good of the situation right now is for them to run into that brick wall. So you are being patient, understanding that you are attracting what is meant for you. You are doing your work. You're being in your feminine energy. You're not chasing like a masculine. So I am patient because I know the universe is always working things out for me. I am patient knowing that whatever is of the highest good is coming to me. So there you have it. Sit in your patience and stand your ground, feminines. I'll see you guys later.